Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Banyo Thoughts. So, this is your host, Gian, and today we are going to delve into the transformative world of positive affirmations. So, alam nyo naman, like I mentioned it past few podcasts already, that I'm attending a personal development program and fitness program. And one of the core exercises that is encouraged in that program is really to create our own affirmations. So, and these affirmations we say it as frequent as we can. No, in fact, our coach encouraged us to even record our affirmations, and we listen to them when we go to sleep. No, so just to para pumasok sa subconscious natin. So ano ba yung let's first define what are affirmations. So I think the affirmations or positive affirmations are just basically phrases that we repeatedly or regularly tell ourselves so that it changes our negative thought or behavioral patterns. So there's a science to it. I mean, it's not like para lang siyang yung mga magic na sinasabi na I am beautiful, I am sexy, mga ganyan. No? There is actually a science behind it. In fact, I was listening to a podcast of one of my favorite podcasters, Rob Dial, and he mentioned he had this whole podcast that talks about affirmations. And it was very interesting because he mentions that and the science behind it, na when we actually in our psyche, ourselves, there is actually we created a sort of like a parang identity of ourselves, and that identity of ourselves we try to protect. And this identity is actually perhaps because of experiences we formulated on our psyche. And there is actually part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. I'm not so sure. I'm not really very good at science, but prefrontal cortex. Yeah, I think prefrontal cortex. That's pag daw pag may positive affirmations, nagiging active yung part ng brain yun. So, which is kind of cool, no? So there is really a direct relationship between having, giving ourselves, value, and it activates the part of the brain. I'm sharing this because it's not easy, because I've been trying to practice it on a day-to-day basis, but it's not easy because I've always thought yung parang yung saying affirmations is just, there's no sense, parang walang mangyayari. But however, I kept on studying and reading more about positive affirmations, and there is really the effect talaga on the person. Of course, for obvious reasons, kanyari nakita mo sa salamin, sinasabi mo I am sexy pero mataba ka. Parang may incongruity, no? May hindi nagma-match. So kailangan daw yung affirmations mo should be directed towards growth, and that's realistic. So yung instead of saying I'm sexy, you can actually say I'm getting better and better. I'm getting a more fit body, or I'm getting a fitter body because as I continue to work out. So there is parang a movement that happens. And true enough, when I started doing it, and I'm guilty not doing it on a regular basis, but when I started doing it, for some reason, yung processing ko ng about, because I keep on saying that isa sa mga positive affirmations ko is that I'm about Experience Philippines. Really, I'm creating a platform, and that's going to be helping 1 million Filipinos, 1 million travelers to experience the Philippines in a more memorable way, ganyan. So parang, and I kept on repeating that to myself. So kasi like ko siya binabasa sa morning. Although binabasa ko lang siya, hindi ko siya verbally say, but sabi nila mas okay daw when you verbally say it and you actually look in the mirror saying it and listen to it. Ginagawa ko, I listen to it. Actually, I recorded myself and I listened to myself saying it. And hindi ko alam, pero yung one effect sa akin is GV lagi. Good vibes lagi. Like, I feel so like, oh, I'm confident that I can do this. Like, oh nga, no, kaya ko itong gawin. Or ito yung mangyayari talaga. Parang, that the train yung thoughts ko na it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. And I'm moving towards it. And the second one, it's giving me more ideas on how to make it happen. Like, it's strange because like I'm not thinking of activities, things that will make that a reality. I don't know, hindi ko ma-explain kung bakit, but that somehow it's actually the result of me saying this over and over and over and again. And so I guess there is really a direct relationship of really if you practice it on a day-to-day basis, how it can actually change your outlook. And maybe now ngayon ko na nagigets na hindi talaga lang siya magic. There's really like siguro na program yung subconscious ko to think of these thoughts, and then these thoughts will spur into other thoughts that will help me achieve that main goal that I have in my head, or why I'm saying that affirmation. So I'm sharing this because if you haven't been practicing it, or if you've heard it but you've never tried it, I really suggest that it's a strategy or a practice that you can start doing, because it hindi naman dahil naging effective sa akin, but I think and I'm sure that there are many other like personal growth speakers or coaches who've been promoting this, and books have been written about it, and there's a whole empirical studies that have been done about this affirmations. So I don't think it's bullshit. I think really it is. I don't think there's really an effect to it, and there is really a reason why we can do it. So why am I talking about it? I think it's really because one, we grew up, or maybe in the an environment where we lived in, we grew up with certain limiting beliefs, and this limiting beliefs has been ingrained in our subconscious, to the point that whenever we're faced with something, or whenever we do something, or like we want to target something, let's say, let's go with having people would always want this, like having a better body, like for the guys, 6-pack abs, or for the girls, sexy form. And so and then when we start implementing or start doing workout on a day-to-day basis, then we realize na mahirap pala. Kasi yung mga kasama mo dun sa gym, masyado na magaganda yung katawan, parang no-OP ka na, out of place ka dun. Tapos yung nahirapan ka rin kasi hindi gumagalaw yung weight mo, pareho pa rin. Then you realize na kailangan pa lang kumain. So it starts to have like, it snowballs from there, yung mga excuses, why it's not gonna happen, and why you think it's not gonna happen, or why and then yung goal mo na of becoming like of having that good body, or having that 6-pack abs, suddenly it becomes like a impossibility already. And then you give up, and then you look for another shiny object that you want to do, parang to have another and then that it snowballs from there. And the reason why I think positive affirmation helps is because from the kwento ko lang sa inyo experience, it's because it reframes your thoughts, and it recalibrates, I suppose, your self knowledge, their identity to that particular affirmation. Kung having that you're growing to having a fitter body, parang nakakonti na influence yung buong pagkatao mo, because nga you are constantly telling yourself that you are going to have a fitter body. You are going to have a fitter body. It's not a sort of a self-hypnosis, but I think it's more of really an assurance that you are. Because it's in the present, because you say I am. So kaya yung sinasabi ni Rob Dial in that podcast, the most powerful word is really I am. I am. So really start if you can start, kaya nga, start the day by, doing an affirmation that would make a big difference. That's what I'm doing now. No, although I'm not always successful with it. I mean, I'm not saying, but I started it. Hindi pa siya ganun ka ingrained habit on me, but yeah, I am doing it, and I've seen the results. No, na no, when I started saying those affirmations and then listen to it, I think yun ang pinaka difference. Like when I hear my own voice say it, although di ko pa ginagawa yun nasa salamin, kasi usually advice nila, it's like you say it to yourself, like you talk to yourself. Ginagawa ko pa lang siya auditory, meaning sa sound, sa ano lang, so I listened to it lang, nice, and I recorded my voice saying all of this, and then I just listened to it, and while I'm listening to it, I read what I actually say. So I have a printed out version of my affirmations, and that I think that really helped because hindi ako nag-joke, hindi ako nag-steer, no, that actually helped because kinato kanina, it started me coming out with countless of other ideas how to make that become a reality. And one of them is, I actually just last November 2, I just basically relaunched Experience Philippines on Facebook page, meaning I made it, I put it out there that we're now back in business, no? So, and now I'm looking for partners to become to start offering experiences again. I already designed all the book a surprise activities for the people who want to travel. I'm just like now doing the computations for, let's say if they book, the book a surprise for people who have heartbreaks, how much it would cost. No? So I'm just like putting all the costing there and coming out with the selling price already. So, and that's my target for before the year ends, and that's marketed continuously. So I wanna, ito not randomly biglang isip ko na, okay, how do I make money to advertise this? So let's do something and let's earn X amount of money, and that money I will put it on advertising so that we can start advertising this. And then gumawa rin ako ng calendar ko na for Experience Philippines. And all of these things, I'm telling you, all of these things happened because I started just saying it. No, I mean, it sounds very weird, but I'm just parang nagiging reality siya because I pushed myself thinking of that in my head. And that's why it's becoming a suddenly I started moving. And I'm telling you, because it's very hard for me to move, because considering that, yung nangyari sa akin over the past few months when I lost the Mystery Cafe, I closed down that business. I have this fear of failing, like, and I discussed this in the previous podcast. I have this fear of making a mistake or doing something because it just might fail again, and I don't want to go through the whole emotions of the roller coaster ride of emotions when of failing. So, but nonetheless, when I started doing this, it gave me not strength, but it gave me a more positive outlook that it can happen, it will happen, and it's happening. So yung may movement, and that movement is what I needed, and I'm happy now da sa movement na yun. I don't see the results yet, but the mere fact that I took that one step forward, I think made a big difference in my overall self-confidence and my overall desire to succeed and not to give up. So yun, I just wanted to share that because I felt that it's something that maybe we can do as a strategic, practice to do positive affirmations. And they're countless now. They're countless. If you go on Google there, if you can Google it, you can see a lot of examples of positive affirmations. But the best is really to design your own, and starting with the two words, no, I am. I think that's the best way to begin the positive affirmation. And make it realistic. No, you can't have if you're trying to be fit, can't say I have a fit body when you're not really fit. No, So kung chubby-chubby ka pa or hindi ka pa ganun kaganda katawan. So work on that, something like I am getting a fitter body because, because of me working out or something. I'm getting a fitter body now. I'm getting a fitter body now. No? So, and you're pushing yourselves to work out. So, yun lang. So, I just wanted to share that in this episode of Banyo Thoughts. Again, another random Banyo Thoughts that I have. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If ever do share your own personal experience about your own positive affirmation, I would love to hear it. But yeah, so if you like this episode, please share it to your friend and to a family or wherever. Please follow me on Spotify and Facebook and on Instagram. Banyo Thoughts by Gian. And I really, 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 really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for listening to this episode. And I'll see you guys soon. So bye bye.